Hello and welcome to my new series, Can I Make It Healthier?, where my goal is to turn everyone's favorite foods just a little bit healthier. So for the purpose of this challenge, my goal is going to be to make it under 500 calories, add more nutrients, and make it more macro-friendly. For today's episode of Can I Make It Healthier?, I will be attempting to make store-bought ravioli healthier. For the ravioli, I'm just using Trader Joe's pumpkin ravioli that I picked up, but you can use pretty much any one. The ravioli, as packaged, would make about 2 realistic servings, and even without any sauce, it would be 330 calories and only 10 grams of protein, and probably not that filling. So the goal today will be to make it into a meal that's double the protein and a lot more filling than eating it plain with sauce. First, you're going to start by chopping up a whole pint of about 15 mushrooms and a zucchini. Mushrooms are pretty high in protein and also have a lot of fiber, which is going to make this meal a lot more satiating for you. That way, you don't end up feeling hungry like an hour later. And if you're looking at all the vegetables and thinking to yourself, I'm not a huge vegetable person, trust me, I'm not either, but we're just going to chop it up really finely and hide it in the sauce. The reason we're adding these veggies is they add micronutrients to your meal, but they also have got fiber, and fiber essentially slows down digestion to make sure that you feel full for longer. And the nice thing with this recipe, along with most of my recipes, is making swaps is going to be really easy. For example, in this one, I use zucchini and mushroom, but you can totally just swap that for another meat substitute, other veggies, or whatever you have on hand. Once you chop up your veggies, you're going to want to choose a source of protein. I'm using chopped up chicken sausage from Trader Joe's, but you can just go with any sort of chicken. You can add in cooked tofu or beans. So now that we've prepped everything, the actual process of making the meals is super easy. To a saucepan, add 1 tablespoon of oil and let it get hot. Then you're going to add in the chopped mushrooms and saute it until it gets nice and soft. And once your mushrooms are looking good, add in the chopped zucchini and a large pinch of salt. Adding the salt while sauteing the veggies is actually a trick that my mom taught me and helps speed up the process by drawing water out of the vegetables. While the veggies are sauteing, you can go ahead and boil the ravioli according to the instructions on the package. And once the veggies look good, you can add in your protein, but since I'm using cooked sausage, I just give it a stir and move on to the next step. But if you're using a raw meat or a tofu, just make sure to let it cook first before adding the spices. So for my spices, I use paprika, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. You can totally just use whatever you've got in your pantry. If you don't have those, it's not really any sort of rule. And once you add those, give everything a really good stir to make sure the spices are evenly distributed. At this point, depending on how hot your pan is, you might notice stuff sticking to the bottom of the pan, and that's totally fine. Honestly, in my books, it's actually a good thing. I add a splash of water to it just to reincorporate all that flavor back into the veggies. Then add in the marinara sauce and the cooked ravioli and give it a good stir. And that's literally all. It's done. I divide that into 3 boxes for 3 meals so I can easily take it to work during the week. I usually start by portioning out the ravioli and then I add in the rest of the veggies and sausage stuff, just to make sure it's evenly proportioned. I hope you guys like this episode of Can I Make It Healthier? And be sure to come back next week for a Cheesecake Factory Copycat Spicy Chipotle Pasta. And to never miss a video, be sure to hit that subscribe button.